Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chabruggy, and joining me from Elkhart, Derek Relaford. How's things going down there?
Doing pretty good, man. How are things in Salina, Kansas, buddy?
Hot.
Really?
I think we hit about 95 today.
Not good, man. That means that the
Yeah,
summer is upon us, man. It is here, and it is
right.
time to go.
Okay, we're not in the cottage tonight.
So basically, we bought a house.
Oh,
We were gonna buy the cottage, and then it's like basically a mansion, dude. It's way too big. We didn't use half of the place for the whole
okay.
4 months we were there. So we are gonna let them. They had other people that wanted to buy it and keep it as a bed and breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
which we were just living in it. So we decided to let them sell it to somebody else, and we purchased a home still in Elkhart, but we are on the Oklahoma side. So a little bit different, but pretty much the same at the end of the
Cool.
day. Yeah, man.
Cool.
So right now I'm in my new garage, and hopefully my internet works out here. But I guess we will. I guess we will find out together.
Yeah, I saw your post the other day. You guys were painting your RV on the inside.
Yeah, the RV we are transforming into an ice cream truck, hopefully. So, um, we're going to. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work, but it's fun, man. We've been just jamming out, listening to music and painting, and we got to put some new flooring in there and a bunch of other stuff. But so far so good, man. We've been having a good time with it.
Cool.
Well, let's go ahead and cover some cases, man.
All
We
right.
cover her every week, but let's go ahead and talk about Dana Jane Bruce.
Yeah, she's missing out of Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She's now 38. She's 5'2", 98 pounds, brown hair, green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the rest of the night. Dana was seen at Malone's bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with that man at 11:30. Police have identified the man Dana was with on the night she vanished. He traveled to Atlanta, Georgia after her disappearance, and police questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities have not named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. Told his questioners that he and Dana parted ways after they left the bar and he never saw her again after that. Dana left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush. She does not have any credit cards, debit cards, checking account, cell phone, or a car. And at the time of Dana's disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 38. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel in silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. Dana has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced one time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100 or Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178 or toll free at 866-362-6422 and see if we can help get Dana located and back to where she needs to be.
And Ellen saying thanks for sharing her flyer.
You're welcome, Ellen. See who else we got over here. We got Roxanne and Kelly says, love you guys. Ellen, hey, Ellen. Chris says, hey, Ricky and Derek. Kelly says, I'm on my way back to Kansas right now. I'll be in Kansas around 1 or 2 in Concordia.
Awesome.
And Trisha says, hello, guys. And shared out from Facebook tonight. I'll try to stay awake.
We do go on kind of late, man. We might fix that. I might see if Norm wants to do a different day for the summer,
Okay.
and that way we can go on earlier. We have been going on kind of late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Get it 110%. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about our good friend Kenny Wrightcheck.
Yeah, Mr. Kenny. Let's see. You're missing from here in Salina, Kansas since November 4th, 2019. He was 69 years old when he went missing. He's now 73. He's 5'9", weighs 175 pounds, has gray hair and blue eyes. He does sometimes use the last name Brown instead of his given name. Does suffer from diminished mental health capabilities, and he is on disability. He has not tried to access any of his money since he was last seen. He may have family in northwest Kansas, possibly around the Colby area. He was last seen at the Gospel Mission in Salina. He left there and has not been seen or heard from since. Kenny does not have a phone, a vehicle, or any identification. His main mode of transportation was his bicycle that he used to ride around town, and that was the way he got around. It was on his bicycle. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 69. He's now 73. He's 5'9", weighs about 175 pounds. He has gray hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Kenny's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 or text SA Tips to Crimes, which is 274-637, or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip, or call the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't help get Kenny located and back to where he needs to be.
A long time, man.
Yeah, definitely.
You still keep up with who's the lady that does Missing in Kansas?
Which one's that?
The cake news lady that you were from?
Oh, Nell Lawless. Yeah, I still talk to her.
She's still doing the Missing in Kansas show, or?
Yep, she still does it twice a day. Once, I think it's 6 in the morning and 5 at night, I believe, every day, except for the weekends.
Wow, I didn't know she was that involved, man. She's doing like some heavy duty lifting there.
Right.
Wow. You want to get some of those comments, or?
Yeah, let's see here. We've got Don Robbins says, I'm just lurking.
Me too.
Debbie Elder says, hello. Hello, Debbie. And Heather Bear says, hey, guys. Hello.
Awesome. Alexander Perez.
Were you able to find that audio file?
Not yet, but I can look for it.
Okay. And this is Alexander Perez, missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st, 2020. He's 35 when he went missing. He's now 38. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. Alexander called a family member via telephone on December 1st and said he'd be coming over to do laundry. He never arrived at that family member's home in Ulysses. Alexander's not been heard from or seen by family or friends since then. Alexander's been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It's believed that Alexander may still be in the local Ulysses area, or he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding areas. At the time of his disappearance, he was 35. He's now 38. He's 5'11", weighs 235 pounds, has black hair that he shaves nearly bald, and brown eyes. Has a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. Has Perez tattooed on one of his arms, and he has a tattoo of a cross on a chain across his chest. If you have any information regarding Alexander's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500 or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Alex located and back to where he needs to be. And I know we touch on this. Now that an arrest has been made, we touch on this every time we talk about Alex. About 44-year-old Oscar Corrales of Garden City was arrested for second-degree murder connected to AJ's death. He was also arrested for racketeering, possession of meth with intent to distribute, possession of drug paraphernalia, and theft. Additional charges were based on investigation by Garden City Police and Finney County Sheriff's Office. Corrales was arrested at the Finney County Jail, where he's being held on unrelated charges. And, all suspects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And the Finney County Attorney's Office is expected to prosecute the case. Investigation is ongoing. So we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's see here. Got some comments here. Let's see. Debbie Elder, who's the lady doing the other show? Her name's Annette Lawless. She's on Cake News on Channel 10 out of Wichita. And she is a friend of mine, too. Elizabeth Garcia, thank you for all you do. You're very welcome. Shauna Holstead, hello from Wichita. Hello, Shannon. Hope everything's going okay down there in Wichita. And Dawn's saying she's just now got the notification that we're live. 45 minutes
Neat.
later.
Neat.
Or 15 minutes later, I guess. Excuse me.
Neat.
Yeah. Good old Facebook, I'm telling you.
They'll tell them eventually. Go ahead and tell them about Dietrich Foster.
I will do that as soon as I locate him because I forgot to pull him. Yeah, it's been one of them days.
I just had you send it to me.
Yeah, I know, and I forgot to pull it for myself.
You forgot to do it yourself?
Yeah, here we go. Dietrich Foster is missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12, 2020. He's 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th. He was last seen around April 12th in Independence. KBI agents and detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into Dietrich's disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He's now 39. 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So again, if you have any information, get that information called in and see if we can't help get him located and back to his family.
There's obviously not enough governor awards, but I feel like we've seen a lot more governor rewards lately than we have doing this show. Candy's in the chat. He says, appreciate you guys keeping AJ's case in the public eye. He deserves justice.
Yeah.
Candy. I'm living in Elkhart, so I'm not far. If you're still around the Southwest Kansas area, message me. Let's link up. I'll take you to dinner. Let's talk. I'll relay what you tell me to Ricky. But you would know what's going on with that whole situation because none of us do. But I'd love to have you try to catch us up on what's going on. You went to the trial, the preliminary hearing. You know a lot more than we know. So yeah, I'll reach out to me. I'll come take you out to dinner and we can talk.
Cool. And Debbie Elder's asking, is she the one I could reach out to regarding Steve Bettle's case outside of Solomon, his unsolved homicide case? She mainly does missing, but you can try reaching out to her and see what she says about maybe covering him on Cake and see if she can do something for you.
I've never tried to reach out to her. Maybe once I might have told her that I worked with you and like to share I think I messaged her a way to get into the studio or something one time, but basically because you've had her on this show before, I was your co-host.
Right.
But I think she's kind of hard to get a hold of. She works for Cake, she's pretty high up there with
right.
With the news and stuff. She's a pretty famous person in these parts, so
right.
Try to reach out to her. But if you don't hear back, I wouldn't take offense to it. She's got a lot of people probably trying to reach out to her.
Right.
Well, let's talk about Punky Wayne.
Right. I just reshared Frankie Wayne Herod Jr.'s and Ricky Nelms' flyer because let's see here. What was it? The Butler County Sheriff's Office, they just put out a new post regarding their two cases, and they tagged Kansas Missing and Unsolved in the post. So
wow.
I wanted to get them back out there too. But this is Frank Punky Wayne Herod Jr. He's missing from Rose Hill, Kansas since July 28th, 1997. He was 24 when he was missing. He would be 51 now. 6 foot tall, 240 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. He was living on Southwest 159th Street, now called County Line Road, with his wife of 4 years, Kelly Herod, and their two daughters. Kelly described her husband as abusive. She left him in January 1997 and took the children to Arkansas without telling Franklin where she was going. He filed for divorce and got temporary custody of their children, which caused Kelly to take them and return to live with Franklin in Kansas. She became pregnant not long after this, and Franklin then dismissed the divorce action. Franklin jointly owned a car with a friend, Jerry Wayne Trussell, and Kelly was friends with his wife, Tammy Trussell. Kelly confided to Tamara about the troubles in her marriage, and she was afraid Franklin would kill her if she tried to leave him again. She said she wanted to kill him, but she couldn't because in the event of foul play, she would be the first one suspected. She asked Tamara to do it for her instead. Tamara told Jerry about her conversations with Kelly, and Jerry told Kelly he would arrange the murder in return for sexual services from her. Kelly agreed. In the spring or early summer of 1997, the Trustles asked a neighbor, Jerry Wilson, for a gun, allegedly telling him that Jerry was going to kill someone or get rid of that punky guy or to do something to him. In late June or early July, the Trustles were evicted from their home and moved in with the Herods. Tamara and Jerry had a discussion and decided to kill Franklin themselves because they couldn't find anybody else willing to do it. They decided that Jerry would distract Franklin while Tamara shot him. Kelly wasn't privy to the conversation. The next day, while Kelly was inside the house getting the children ready for school, Jerry and Franklin got into a fight outside. Tamara ran outside, got the gun out of a nearby truck, and shot Franklin on Jerry's orders. The next day, the Trustles took Franklin's body, wrapped it in the blue roofing tarp, and buried it in a remote location near the Walnut River. Kelly Herod, Tammy Trussell, and Jerry Trussell were all convicted on charges in connection to Franklin's murder. Franklin's body has never been found. If you have any information regarding Franklin's disappearance or death, please call the Butler County Sheriff's Office at 316-320-1294 or 316-322-8817 or toll free at 866-484-5924, or you can email crime tips at bucoks.com and see if we can't help get him located. And I'll read you their Butler County's post that we were tagged in. So it has a little bit more information. Let's see, I got to figure out which one it is here. I had it pulled up and then I cleared it, and I don't know why I did that. It was pretty cool that they tagged Kansas Missing. They tagged Nat Lawless too, and some other ones here. Their post says, in part, well, it says 1997, July 1997, Butler County Sheriff's Office took a missings report from Franklin Punky Herod's then wife Kelly Herod investigation into Punky Herod's disappearance, confirmed him to have been killed in Butler County, but as of this day, this was 6 days ago, Punky Herod's remains have not been located. All three individuals involved in the murder of Punky Herod were arrested and found guilty. Only one remains in prison to this day. In 2023, Butler County Sheriff Monty Huey directed detectives to investigate further into finding the location of Punky Herod's remains. It was during this investigation that detectives discovered a second individual by the name of Ricky L. Nelms, who was also alleged to be buried in Butler County. A missing person came for Nelms. I think it was supposed to be missing persons report came for Nelms, originally from Moulton, Alabama, and was discovered in Sedgwick County, Kansas, dating back to 1988. In December 2023, the Butler County, Kansas Sheriff's Office released to the public the victims' names and photos, asking for help locating the two burial locations of Punky Herod and Ricky Nelms. Tips were given and follow-up continues, but the exact location of the remains is yet to be discovered. Today, Sheriff Huey is offering a substantial reward for any information leading to investigators to the location of either of these two victims. Sheriff Huey believes it's our duty to get the victims and the remains and return to their families. Anyone with information regarding these cases can contact Butler County, Kansas Sheriff's Office by Facebook Messenger or the following telephone numbers to remain anonymous. Their crime tips line, of course, crime tips at bucoks.com. Crime tip numbers are 316-322-8817 or 866-484-5924. And again, you can also contact them through their messenger on their Facebook page as well. So like I said, that came out 6 days ago. So I wanted to get Ricky Nelms and Punky Herod back out there again. Get them covered.
Now let's just hope that they're I put their flyers by each other.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not it.
Yep. And Donda says, "Hey guys," and Chris Henry says, "Their kids losing both parents, so awful." Yeah, it is definitely awful. You're scrolling through flyers.
Well, are we looking for another flyer?
Oh, I was just waiting on you to pull up the next one.
Well, I thought that the last flyer you just read involved two people.
Oh yeah, both? Ricky Nelms was the other one.
Okay, I was looking for that one.
Okay,
did you send me that one?
I thought I did.
Okay, yeah. There we go. We got there. You're up. Okay, I knew they weren't going to be right next to each other because that would be too easy, right?
I try to keep them next to each other.
Well, no, when I load them into the studio, it mixes them up, and I was like, "There's no way that
Oh,
the world would just let us have them together." But no, go ahead. I found it.
okay. This is Ricky Lynn Nelms, missing from Wichita, Kansas, since February of '88. He was 19 when he went missing. He'd be around 55, 56 now. Couldn't find an exact birth date for him. I've been looking high and low and still haven't found one yet. But he's 5'9", 115 pounds, brown hair, green eyes. Ricky left his parents' Moulton, Alabama home in January of '88, traveled to Wichita, Kansas with a friend to take a job as a roofer. His parents last had contact with him when he called home sometime in February '88. Ricky's never been heard from again. It wasn't unusual for him to be out of touch with his family for months at a time, so he wasn't reported missing until July 18th of that year. Authorities have received tips that Ricky was murdered and his body buried in Wichita. His mother believes he is deceased. Again, at the time of his disappearance, Ricky was 19 years old. He'd now be 55. He's 5'9", 115 pounds, brown hair and green eyes. His case is still unsolved, as is Frankie Punky Herod's case there. Alabama authorities are investigating along with Butler County Sheriff's Office. So if you have any information regarding Ricky's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Lawrence County, Alabama Sheriff's Office at 256-974-9291 or the Butler County, Kansas Sheriff's Office tip line at 316-322-8817 or 866-484-5924. Or you can email your tips to crimetips@bucoks.com and see if we can help get these two located. And as I mentioned from the Butler County Sheriff's Post, that the Sheriff's Office is offering a substantial reward for information to their location that leads to their locations. So if you have that information, let them know.
That was a long time ago, man. That is kind of wild.
Yeah. Unless I wanted to get their 2 flyers out there, since Butler County tagged us, I wanted to get, help them out as much as we can. See if we can't help them get some information.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
well, it is. Again, like I said it a few minutes ago, I think it's crazy that how many like awards you're seeing, and anytime you see old cases like this see the light of day, you just shoot us like, yep, they never give up. They always keep working.
Right.
You would think that this long from then you would be like, there's no way nobody's actually working on that, but it sounds like that would be the wrong observation to make.
Right.
Tell us about fiction.
Yeah, but they are definitely, like you say, there are more rewards coming out. So
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Alrighty. And this one is Christian Oliveras. Again, he's one of the 3 homicides where I visited with the mothers of the 3 victims to see if I could help try to get the word out about their cases and keep them out there in the public so we could try to help get some justice for these families, because they definitely need it for sure. Christian Oliveras, December 30th, 2018, Kansas City, Missouri. The police officers there were dispatched to 7500 Oakland Avenue regards to a shooting. Christian Oliveras was found beside a house with multiple gunshot wounds. Christian arrived in a white Ford Explorer and was approached by 2 unknown suspects. It is unknown who Christian was meeting at the time of his death. If anybody has any information regarding Christian's death, please call Detective Heather Leslie at 816-234-5213 or the TIPS hotline at 816-474-8477. Or you can go to the website, kccrimestoppers.com, submit a tip there, or you can scan that Say It Here QR code on the bottom of the flyer there and submit your tips that way as well. And see if we can't get some justice for Christian's family, because I know, talking to his mom, she is really hurting right now and really wants to see the person responsible brought to justice for that. Can't say that I blame her.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. 2018.
Yeah.
I just had my first gym bug fly by my face in my new studio.
Oh, yeah.
That's always neat. Terry Tabruggi's in the house.
Yeah.
Katrina Marshall did something, maybe sent stars or something.
I
don't see her comment.
I don't either.
Put a picture or something. And then Debbie Elder says, how hard they work depends on the county, I guess.
No, it's possible. I don't know.
I think a lot of it has to do with funding and training too. if a county doesn't have the funding, and because like I'm in Elkhart, Kansas, well, Oklahoma, but like Elkhart, Kansas is a tiny town. We have like I think like 8 officers if you count sheriff's department, and
Right.
that's a lot for a town with like 1,500. So like I feel like we're pretty equipped, but even then, 8 officers isn't a whole lot of people. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
if something big happens, then like thank God you can call in. Like with this last case that happened south of Elkhart, a few months ago. Thank God OSBI and FBI stepped in pretty quickly with their. They have a lot more toys that they can work with. As far as making things happen and finding stuff out. So,
Right.
I think that county law enforcement, city law enforcement, and a lot of these smaller areas, like I don't think it's necessarily their fault that they get it wrong a lot. I think that they're just not equipped and trained a lot of times to handle some of these big city crimes.
Right.
Tell us about Taria.
All right. I'll go over this flyer, and then I got some additional information and that was just tagged in today. But she is Taria Orsini McKnight, missing from Topeka, Kansas since March 31st, 2024. She's 15, 5'9" to 5'10", 130 to 135 pounds, brown hair that was last known to be dyed black. She goes by Bella or Tia. It's believed she may be in the Topeka, Kansas area, or she may be in St. Louis, Missouri area. Again, she's 15. She's 5'9" to 5'10", weighs between 130 135 pounds. It's brown hair that was last known to be dyed black with black hair extensions and hazel eyes. She has multiple piercings in her nose and ears, and she has a small crescent-shaped tattoo on her left arm. If you have any information regarding Taria's disappearance, her whereabouts, please call Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200 or KBI at 785-296-4017. And the information that I got today stated that she made a FaceTime call to her boyfriend, begging him to come pick her up. An adult male appeared on FaceTime and took her phone and threatened her boyfriend, saying he was going to beat her up if she showed up. He showed up to pick her up. Since that point, there's been no contact with Taria, and her phone is now off. It's believed he possibly took her over the state lines to the St. Louis, Missouri area. So that's where the possibly being in St. Louis comes in. So if anybody has any information at all, please call that in. See if we can't get Taria located and back home.
Wow, that's been about 3 months ago, man. Well, about 2 months.
Yeah.
Because that was at the end of March.
It sounds like she may be a particularly dangerous situation. So
yeah. Well, D-Hay, the guy who works for Back Home Media, you see him in a lot of the videos that I put out on my YouTube page and stuff. He was telling me that about a few minutes before we went live, there was an Amber Alert down. Where was that at? Tulsa. There was an Amber Alert that went out.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you might Google that. I don't know if it's been resolved or not. I didn't get the Amber Alert, but D-Hay did get it. So apparently there's an Amber Alert in Tulsa. That sounds like a pretty scary situation. Yeah. It's always bad when these youngsters are missing, man. It's always scary. Talk about Matthew Gatson. I'll look into that Amber Alert while you read Matthew's flyer.
Okay. Yep, he is the second of the 3 moms that I talked to down over there in Kansas City that I talked to via Zoom about their son's cases, and it just blows my mind how many unsolved murders in Kansas City there are. I went to Corey's Network, Twitter or X, or whatever you want to call it, and there's just so many unsolved murders in Kansas City. It's just unreal.
Yeah.
This one's Matthew Gatson. This is December 11th, 2022. Matthew Gatson Jr., 20 years old, was shot and killed in a car in broad daylight while he and his fiancée were driving down the road in Kansas City. His fiancée, Rain Spriggs, was driving the car that day and was also shot. The couple was driving back after going to the gun range and running errands for the holiday. Spriggs says a gray-colored SUV that Gatson had previously told her to watch out for pulled up next to them and started shooting. Spriggs believes Gatson knew someone was after him, but she doesn't know who the person would be. Law enforcement has the vehicle in custody for processing. If you have any information regarding Matthew's death, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5111 or tips hotline at 816-474-8477. Or again, you could go kccrimestoppers.com and submit a tip there, or do the p3tips.com, or you can scan the QR thing there on the flyer that says "Say It Here" and get your tip in that way as well. And see if we can help get some justice for Matthew Gatz and his mom and his family and friends as well. And Dawn is saying 2 children taken by non-custodial parents in Tulsa, and she said it was canceled.
Yeah, I was just gonna tell you. I googled it and said it was canceled a few minutes ago.
Okay. And hopefully they're all safe.
Yeah,
That would be grand.
it's kind of hot in here, so I had to take
Okay,
my
my
hat off.
brother just said Amber Alert in Oklahoma has been canceled. All parties concerned have been located safely. That's good.
Good deal.
Good
Good deal. I always like that.
Good to hear.
What about Jeremiah Taylor Stewart, unsolved homicide?
Yeah, that's the third of the 3 that I talked to that night. And again, I just want to get some justice for these guys and their families and their friends. And oh man, there's any other families out there that have, family members that were victims of unsolved homicides, and they want me to do flyers and that cover them on the show and that kind of thing, I would be more than willing and happy to do it for you. Just let me know. Message me on the KMU page or message me on my personal page, and I will definitely do that. I have no problems with that at all. But this one's Jeremiah Taylor Stewart, June 25th, 2018, Kansas City, Missouri. He was shot near 36th in a 3600 block of Wabash in Kansas City. Police have not said anything about a motive or released any suspect information. This was actually a double homicide. There was another victim, but for some reason that victim's mother doesn't want his name out there, so I haven't done anything for him out of respect for his mom's wishes. If you have any information regarding the shooting death of Jeremiah Stewart, call the TIPS hotline at 816-474-8477 or the KCCrimeStoppers.com, p3tips.com, or the QR code on the flyer there, and submit your tip that way and see if we can't get some justice for his family as well. And we have Chloe McHenry here from Salina, Kansas. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? I'm in Salina as well.
Uh-oh. You're gonna have to form a friend group, buddy.
Uh-oh.
The Salina Crime Solvers. I already
There
see.
we go.
I already see the lettering and everything. I'll start working it out. Emily Stewart, Wyandotte County, Kansas.
Yeah, missing since June 3rd of this year. She's 17, 5'5", 99 to 100 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. It's believed that she may be trying to get to Topeka. And she's 17, she's 5'5", 99 to 100 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Emily's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wyandotte County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-573-2861 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get Emily located and back to where she needs to be.
I think you got some comments.
Chloe's asking if I know anything about Patrick Hubbard. Yeah, I was contacted today and told he had been located safe. He was back home. I got to get his flyer, his located safe posted. I have it ready to post. I just haven't had a chance to post it yet. But I do have it ready. So I will do that after the show.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Talk about Demarion
Johnson. He is out of Topeka, Kansas, and been missing since April 19th, 2024. He's 13, 5'7", 125 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. Man, I can't talk tonight. If you have any information regarding Demarion's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department, 785-368-9200, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Demarion located and back to where he needs to be. And Donda says, Ricky has sent you a post from Gage County, Nebraska, missing teen. Okay. Did you send it to KMU or email it, or where'd it go?
Hmm. A lot of ways to get hold of that Ricky Tabruggi.
Oh, yeah. My personal. Okay, cool. I'll look for it.
Matthew Irwin,
Yeah,
February 2023.
yeah, I've been posting him previously, and I got some information on him. And let's see, Matthew Irwin's missing from Topeka, Kansas since February 12th, 2023. 16 when he went missing. He's now 17. He's 5'10", 180 pounds. Brown hair that was last known to be dyed black and purple and brown eyes. It's believed that the information that I was given is it's believed that he may have grown a beard. So that's new information that I hadn't had before. So if you have any information regarding Matthew's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9200, or the KBI at 785-296-4017, and see if we can't get Matthew located and back to where he needs to be. It's probably safe to assume that since this was last year, that more than likely his hair is probably not black and purple anymore. Possibly, but maybe not.
I think at that point, just like with his age, 17,
Yeah.
that flyer's probably going to do just his name and just people knowing it's him.
Yeah.
Like, it'll probably, it'll get out there. I think the information will get out there. Obviously, you want to have the most up to date pictures, for all these people. Some of these people haven't been seen since I met you. Kenny hasn't been seen since 2019, so there is no update photos. So that
Right.
is an issue. You make a missing person flyer, and then 2 years goes by, and who knows what they look like at that point.
Right.
Let's talk about Madeline Kojakari.
Yeah, this one I wanted to do tonight because I do have some updates on her case as well regarding her mom and stepdad. She's missing from Cornelius, North Carolina. This is November 26, 2022. She was 11 when she went missing. She's now 13, 4'10", 90 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Madalena was last seen on surveillance video getting off of her school bus on November 21st at 4:59. This is the last time that police have independent confirmation of when she was last seen. Madalena was reported missing to her school on December 15, 2022. Both Madalena's mother and her mother's husband have been arrested for failure to report Madalena as missing. Madalena's mother reportedly told detectives that her daughter did not have a phone and that a book bag with some of her clothes was missing. She also told the detective that Madalena did not have any friends or family that she would be with. Madalena was last seen wearing a white t-shirt and jacket, jeans, and pink, purple, and white Adidas shoes. If you have any information regarding Madalena's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Cornelius, North Carolina Police Department, 704-892-7773. And the information that I've seen, her stepdad was found guilty of failing to report her missing. Her mom, she was actually released from jail recently as well. Let's see. She's been released from jail. Diana Kojakari pleaded guilty to the felony charge of failing to report a missing child. Diana and her husband, Christopher Palmer, were both charged with that crime. Diana did not agree to a plea deal. Instead, she'd already spent the maximum amount of time in jail for the crime. She was sentenced Monday to 6 to 17 months in prison for the crime. Since she's already been in jail for 520 days, she was allowed to then go free once the paperwork cleared. She is possibly facing deportation. So that's possibility for her. And they're saying if she does get deported back to her home country, which is Moldova, we don't have a extradition treaty with them, so it'd be very difficult to get her back to the States if any more charges come down for her.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's crazy. And then the one, let's see if there's any information on when he's going to be sentenced on his deal. Christopher Palmer, let's see here. Pleaded clueless during his 2-week trial. He maintained that he had no idea that. Come on. Reading that the 11-year-old, the one he supported for nearly 8 years, was missing from home for 3 weeks in 2022. It didn't work. After less than 15 minutes of deliberation, the jury of 11 men and 1 woman found 61-year-old guilty of failing to report the disappearance of a child on Friday. Madalena, who's still missing, was last seen in Cornelius on November 23rd, 2022. Police say Palmer and Diana Kojikari, who is Palmer's wife and Madalena's mother, did not report her missing until after school administrators confronted them on December 14th, 2022. Palmer's court-appointed defense attorney tried to explain away the silence by taking jurors inside Palmer's unusual family. Kojikari was a Moldova bride and moved to the U.S. in 2015 for a visa after meeting Palmer in 2008 on a website called globalladies.com. Brandon Roseman, Palmer's lawyer, called her delusional, manipulative, and 100% in charge of Madalena's schooling and development. That didn't matter, argued Assistant District Attorney Austin Butler. Said the couple was rightfully charged with a Class 1 felony for failing to report Madalena missing. Under North Carolina law, failing to report a child's disappearance is a chargeable offense when the parent or other person providing supervision of a child does not know the location of the child and has not had contact with the child for over a 24-hour period. Palmer testified that he treated Madalena as his own daughter, never turned her down when she wanted to play Star Stable, her favorite horse video game, and he routinely checked on her when she got home from school. He was just as responsible for her safety as her mother, Butler said, and Kojikari pleaded guilty to the charges last week. Madalena didn't pick him to be the person she would call dad, Butler told the jury, pointing to Palmer. He picked her, he promised to protect her, and for 23 days he failed to protect her, failing to act as required by the laws of the state. Mecklenburg County Superior Court Judge Matthew Osmond sentenced Palmer, who had already served 244 days in jail, to 30 months of supervised probation. The highest sentence would have been 17 months in jail, but Palmer otherwise clean record kept him from a cell. After filing a motion to appeal the case Friday, Resman said he still believes Palmer is innocent. So there we go with that. But yeah, that's the latest updates I have on Madalena Kojikari's case.
Wow.
I don't know if they've been rolled out as being involved in the disappearance, Marlene. I haven't seen anything saying one way or the other on that. I'll have to keep my eyes open for that. See if I can find out.
Wesley Gottstein,
missing from Wichita, Kansas since November 8th, 2023. 16 when he went missing. He's now 17. He's 5'8", 180 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. I believe he may still be in Wichita or he may be in Topeka. And he was 16 when he went missing. He's now 17. He's 5'8", weighs 180 pounds, brown hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Wesley's disappearance, you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Wesley located and back to where he needs to be.
it's been a long time, man.
Yeah, I just recently was sent the picture on the right there with the ball cap turned sideways. I hadn't had that photo before, but I was just recently sent that, so I added it to the flyer.
Do you know if that was taken before he went missing?
I don't know, because the pictures I had before were way different. And then I was sent the one on the left, so I took the original two off because they were bad and put that one, and then I just got sent the one on the right with the hat. So,
because if they think he's still in the area, maybe like there's a chance that somebody snapped a picture of him and it got back to somebody from his family, just a picture of him.
Right.
But who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Let's talk about Cynthia Renee Gonzalez.
Alrighty. It's an unsolved homicide out of Arlington, Texas, September 17th, 1991. Cynthia Renee Gonzalez was reported missing to the Arlington, Texas Police Department. On September 22nd, 1991, Cynthia's body was discovered in a creek bed off of County Road 313 in Johnson County, Texas. It was later determined Cynthia died from multiple gunshot wounds. Cynthia was reportedly at her apartment with her boyfriend when her husband stopped by to deliver their daughter for a weekend visit. Sometime later, Cynthia left for an appointment without her customary bodyguard, and she was never seen again. Serial killer Kenneth Allen McDuff, 1946 to 1998, was looked at in connection with Cynthia's death. Jim Ford, longtime Arlington police officer and a renowned homicide investigator, had looked at McDuff in connection with Cynthia's case for going on 18 years. He was never able to make a match or a mismatch. McDuff was believed to have abducted a victim from a car wash in Austin, Texas. Cynthia's car, a two-seat Pontiac Fiero, was seen parked at a car wash in Arlington the day she disappeared. There were similarities in the Austin case and Cynthia's case. He kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and killed his victim at a car wash in Austin. He dumped the bodies of several of his victims in rural areas. He killed several victims by shooting them. Investigators could not place McDuff in Arlington and could not determine whether he was out on the streets at the time, but could not find him as being incarcerated at that time either. Other persons of interest have come up and been cleared as well. McDuff has since been ruled out by DNA testing. So if you have any information regarding Cynthia's death, please call Sergeant Blake Ritchie at 817-459-5772. If you wish to remain anonymous and possibly receive a reward of up to $1,250, please call the Toronto County, Texas Crime Stoppers at 817-469-8477 and see if we can get some justice for Cynthia and her family and friends.
Wow.
Yeah. Very interesting case.
Wow. Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
T. Montez.
Yeah. Now, in Cynthia's case, Heather Berry's actually started a Facebook page, and it's linked to her flyer on Kansas Missing and Unsolved if anybody wants to check that out as well before I forget. T. Montez Hurd, missing from Lee Summit, Missouri since February 1st of this year. He was 19 years old, 5'10", 135 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And he was originally from Tennessee. He had a mental breakdown on January 31st, 2024 in Kansas City around 3:45 in the morning. Went to St. Luke's Hospital located in the Plaza area for treatment. After his episode, T. Montez's family purchased him a Z-Trip to the Greyhound bus station so he could travel to St. Louis to be with his grandmother. Left his cell phone behind in the Z-Trip. He has not had any contact with anyone since. He does not know his way around Kansas City as he's from Tennessee. He was last seen walking on Troost at the beginning of February. T. Montez is 19, 5'10", 135 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was last known to be wearing a royal blue Price Chopper polo shirt, dark green sweatpants, and black high-top Nike shoes. If you have any information regarding T. Montez's disappearance, you know his whereabouts, please call Missouri State Highway Patrol Troop A at 816-622-0800 or the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department at 816-234-5043 or 816-234-5111 and see if we can help get T. Montez located and back to his family. And Heather is saying, thank you for posting Cynthia's flyer again. The new detective is actually Detective Stafford, and the case is under a new review.
Sometimes it's good to get a fresh set of eyes on it, you know?
Yep, definitely. Yep, we did Ricky.
And then the last one we have here is Haley Davis.
Yeah, from here in Salina. It's another case that's been pretty troubling. Just craziness. I mean, it's kind of an interesting twist that during the time she's been missing, she popped up on Sling County's Most Wanted as being wanted. I can't remember what for, but I got a hold of the sheriff and I asked him why, and his initial response was, well, you know, no tip's a bad tip, you know. And I was like, yeah, but apparently she wasn't supposed to be on the Most Wanted since she's listed as missing. I don't know, because she's been removed since then, but she's been missing from Salina, Kansas since July 21st, 2023. She's 19. She's 5'6", 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed blonde and blue eyes. She was last active on her social media and last heard from on July 21st. It's believed she may still be in Salina or she may be in the Wichita, Kansas area. And she's 19. She's 5'6" to 5'7", weighs between 190 and 200 pounds. Her hair was last known to be dyed bleach blonde and she has blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Haley's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210. Or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477, or text SA TIPS to CRIMES, which is 274637, or visit www.pd.salina.org and follow the Crime Stoppers link to submit a tip that way. Or you can call the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Haley located and back to her family. I know her brothers watched the show a couple weeks ago and really both would like to see her be found and brought home. So if we can help make that happen, so much the better.
Yeah, before the year mark hits.
Yeah, and it's getting pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty darn close.
Well, next week I'll move some stuff around. I do a podcast on Wednesday nights before this show, but I will have Norm change next week, and we'll go on earlier because we are getting done later and later every week. And I know just because the kids don't have school, the parents still have work, so we'll try to get on earlier next week.
Right. Fortunately, I'm not going to work until 1 tomorrow. So.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, do what you do to get us out of here. We'll let everybody get to bed, and it's been an awesome show. And we will be back next week at an earlier time. Ricky will make a post and let you know exactly what time that'll be.
Okay. Well, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to be able to review these cases and hopefully generate some tips and information to bring some folks home and bring some killers to justice. You know, we hope and pray that happens. You know, we hope these flyers reach the right ears with the right hearts and do the right thing. You know, until we see each other next week, you know, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. Take care. And amen.